Konnichiwa and welcome to the Sano International Cricket Ground just north of Tokyo on a gloomy overcast day here, but we're still hopeful of play in the match, the T20 international match between South Korea and host Japan. And so let's head down to the pitch for the toss with Jay Dansinghani.
Welcome to Day 3 of the East Asia Pacific Sub-Regional Qualifier B. A big game this between Japan and Korea. The match referee and the two captains from Korea and from Japan are ready. Korea, you've got the coin. Yoon Woo-jun to toss. Heads is the call. Heads it is. Kendall, if you could step up for a few quick words. I think we heard that just now, but Kendall, your decision is?
We're going to have a bowl.
And of course, there's a little bit of rain around, and you get 5 overs in that second innings. You bowl that, your innings, your overs, nice and quick in the first innings. We can get a game on. Was that a part of the decision?
Yeah, that's basically it. There's a little bit of weather around, so I think batting second gives us a little bit of control. We know where we need to be in terms of past scores and stuff like that. So that's the reason for the change.
Of course, and any changes to your team?
No, same team as yesterday.
Okay, I'm not going to keep you too long. Best of luck for this game. Yoon Woo-jun, if you could join me up here. We're lucky enough to have a translator as well. Yoon Woo-jun, you did not win the toss. Had you won the toss, what would your decision have been?
토스에 이기지 못했는데 만약 이겼다면 뭘 고를 생각이었습니까?
토스에 이겼어도 저희는 배팅을 먼저 하려고 했습니다.
We plan to choose the bat, or even we lose the toss, or even we didn't get the toss.
Fantastic. So both teams getting exactly what they wanted. Any changes to your 11?
어디 뭐 베스트 11에 바뀐 게 있나요? 스쿼드?
한 2명 정도 바꿨습니다. 스핀 볼러를 좀 강화를 하는 차원에서 2명 정도 바꿨습니다.
Yeah, we've got changed a couple of players more because of we just want to make more stronger in spin bowlers more because of weather.
Absolutely. You've answered my next question as well. So best of luck for the rest of this contest.
이제 남은 경기 동안 좋은 행운이 있길.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there you have it. The news from the middle is Japan win the toss, and they're going to have a bowl first.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jay. We'll just let Jay make his way back up here. You know what? It is really good to see Korea in good spirits this morning. Jun-Hyun Woo will be leading the team. And I guess you look at those players, Sana Ula, the bowler, he'll love to get into these conditions, obviously. They're talking about that. Iqbal, dangerous. And of course, Raja, we saw him with the bat, show a lot of promise there. And Amir Lal, he is the big hitter. He's the man who they send in. They sent in early in Game 2 on Saturday, and I'd expect him to open as well. They must take the bull by the horns here. No victories so far for Korea. Now let's take a look at the Japanese team. And they said they're going to bowl because they dismissed Indonesia for a paltry 84 yesterday, and who can blame them for sticking to the script? And of course we've got Reo Sakurano Thomas, who took 3 wickets, the fast bowler. Kohei Kubota, an impressive seamer. There's also Declan Suzuki, just likes off a few paces, comes in and rips it in, but their spin attack, so impressive, weren't they yesterday? Kumbari, and of course the wonderful Ravi Chandran, who took the catch of the series over his shoulder. So Japan still heavy favourites there, no changes. So the Shogo Kimura, the former baseball pro, will not be playing today. Now looking at the table, Japan, they're at the top there on 4 points with a good net run rate. They'll want to try and sort that out because there is forecast for rain tomorrow. Japan could clinch this tournament with the net run rate in their favour against Korea today. Indonesia, promising start, but then they were taken care of yesterday. Playing on grass here on the turf pitch after day 1 was on an artificial turf. So Korea just trying to find their way, struggling a little bit, but they were really impressive in that mammoth chase. There was a total set by Japan of 218 on day one, and Korea got into the 170s, I think, 170, and they have some promise. Can they put it together today? Let's see. This is the biggest challenge for them so far as they face Japan. And I welcome back Jay. Jay, the conditions down there, what did you make of it? It looks a little bit moist in the air.
Yeah, it might be moist in the air, but thankfully it's not too moist underfoot. And I think that's the really important thing, especially when it comes to those bowlers' run-ups. And, well, just looking at it from this bird's eye view, yeah, definitely. The bowlers' run-ups definitely look more manageable than they have previously in the tournament. The pitch looks pretty decent as well.
Yeah, it looks like there's still going to be a few demons in that pitch. I think Japan know they want to let their bowlers get in there, but so it could be another low-scoring affair. However, very still overhead conditions, as Kendall Karawaki Fleming, the Japanese captain, said there'll be some assistance, some movement in the air, so their seam bowlers, the swing bowlers will enjoy this. Reo Sakurano Thomas, who was man of the match yesterday, Jay, he was looking in good form. Nice tall bowler, 6'2", seems to bowl at a decent clip.
Yeah, no doubt. He's been so impressive for Japan in the last week and a half. Took 5 wickets, of course, against Indonesia in that first T20 International, and 3 wickets yesterday. He was he was the main architect of an impressive Japanese victory, a convincing Japanese victory, chasing down 84 with 10.1 overs to spare. And like you touched on earlier, James, net run rate could be a huge factor, especially if we get rain tomorrow. So Japan, they win today. Even without that rain, they probably have, 1.5 feet in that that regional final next year.
As the umpires make their way out to the middle, we look forward to play very soon here. Scheduled start of 1:30 looks like it. We're not going to be too far off. And last chance for the teams to get together, make some noise, get that team spirit going. Japan love all the team bonding and building, making a lot of noise before most of their games. As for Korea, I tell you what, if I don't see Amir Lal coming out to bat, I'm going to go down there and have some words and just say, come on, I want to see the big show. I want to see him, what he can do. Although maybe they just want to protect him on this grass wicket.
Mate, it is an interesting one because Amir Lal so impressive in that last game against Japan. I believe it was a 34 off 12, really set the tone in that power play. But of course, murky conditions here, and maybe you just want to, the easy decision, the conservative decision would just be to survive those first 5-6 overs and see if you can go big after the power play. So, yeah, I guess it's old school T20 versus new school T20. Do you attack that power play, or do you just live to fight another day? And it looks like Ibi Takahashi will be opening the bowling. If I was South Korea, I would take advantage of this. I know Ibi Takahashi usually opens the bowling for Japan, but like I said, overcast conditions, I'd be tempted to give the likes of Kohei Kubota and Reo Sakurano Thomas the new ball.
Yeah, totally agree with you, Jay. I think even the visibility, it's a gloomy day out there. Your pictures probably do show it, actually. After a couple of sunny days here in Sano, they're having to deal with that. It's reasonably chilly too. But hey, the great news is I believe that is Amir Lal. And yes, I'm not going to have to ask for my money back because I'm getting to see him come up and open the innings. Good on you, South Korea. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And a reminder that South Korea actually finished ahead of Japan at that 2018 sub-regional qualifier B. Japan, of course, have been buoyed in the last 4 years by the addition of a lot of players of Japanese heritage who have experience of playing in full member countries, including their skipper, Kendall Fleming. James, tell us a little bit more about Kendall.
Kendall plays he plays senior Premier Cricket in Brisbane for the Northern Districts Club. Tell you what, his 40-ball century the other day would have created ripples around the cricket world. I wouldn't be surprised if Australia took notice in Queensland. Anyway, first ball, and it's gone big for 6.
There we go. That's not Amar Lal, but it's Kim Dae-on, the other opener on strike. Look at that. Sailing over that leg side rope.
Wow, Kim Dae-yun, what a shot, what a shot. And like you said, you want to take advantage of it. Takahashi, time to regroup.
6 off the first ball. Strong show of intent. That's a big appeal. I think just about going over, maybe down the leg side as well. But Kim Dae-on, what a statement. First ball.
Yeah, well, you don't really want to get trapped in front on this pitch, but that's high. And almost in the family jewels as well for Dae-yun. Yeah, he is feeling it.
I'll tell you what, it's a bit of a muted atmosphere. It's a Monday morning today. Oh, he goes big again. Deep square leg. There's nobody there, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. 2 sixes in the very first over.
Finally, this is actually what you want to see. The underdog saying, we're not going to lie down. 12 runs already. And you know what? Runs are so hard to come by, or they were yesterday on this pitch. And they're trying to cash in and put some pressure on Japan.
And Kim Dae-on, of course, one of those Korean players who's made the switch from baseball to cricket. We could see those baseball skills just a few moments ago.
I love that. He's already scored 12, so he's entitled just to dink it down, a defensive stroke. He knows his strike zone. He wasn't happy with that third delivery, or the fourth delivery, I'm sorry. So he's waiting now.
Yes, 2 balls left in the over, 12 off it so far. Look at that. Ebi Takahashi does that so well, bringing slip into play with that arm ball, just holding its line. And he bowls his overs really, really quickly. He's taken 2 minutes to bowl the first 5 balls. Tossed up, once again going on with the arm, and that's edged down to that third man region. They're going to come back for 2. And that's a very good first over for South Korea. 14 off it, 14 for no loss after 1.
Wow, well played, South Korea. More of that. If you're going to win this game, you're going to have to have a few overs like that against Japan. They bat deep, and they like to go big as well. But as we saw yesterday, there was one dismissal of a player hit on the chin from a spin bowler, and the ball went down onto the stumps. Quite an unorthodox bowled dismissal there. So, of course, this is what we get. You go from Takahashi to the Shinkansen. Fast train is coming down. Reo Sakurano Thomas, Ario Speedwagon. I was trying to get that nickname going, but apparently nobody here listens to 80s hair metal or...
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, James. That was a polite chuckle from me. I did not get that reference. Reo Sakurano Thomas, a full toss on the legs. Lucky to get away with that one. Just a single to a wideish long on. Mid-on, I beg your pardon.
Well, he can just be a bullet train for now then. We'll keep it local.
I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to this contest between Amar Lal and Reo Sakurano Thomas. Amar Lal, the last time these two teams squared off, he did not care about all that pace that Reo Sakurano Thomas possesses. He went after the Japanese seamer. But Kim Dae-on on strike. Ooh, a play and a miss. Once again, a generous amount of movement away from that right-hander.
Oh, that is a lovely delivery from Reo Sakurano Thomas. Just beating him and tempting him. Kim Dae-yun not looking so comfortable now. And for South Korea, they actually just want Dae-yun to survive.
And I like this, a slip in position. Supun Navaratna. And that slip cord in.
Oh.
Oohs and ahs from Alex Shirai Patmore and the rest of Japan's fielders. How close was that?
Or
Look at that.
dare I say it, too much movement, if there can be any such thing, because he just couldn't get a bat on it. And look, that's going to beat most batsmen around the traps. And I think that Leo Sakurano Thomas, if he can get it moving like that, there's a lot of problems ahead for South Korea.
Here we go, Sakurano Thomas. Oh, that's edged, a thickish outside edge to a gully. Whew. Tell you what, James, I'm waking up.
Yeah, I know that you normally need 3 coffees in the morning, Jay, but you're doing well.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Well, I didn't have 3 coffees today, but I had 2.3 coffees.
All right.
Yeah, the one I got from the vending machine. 30% more coffee. Here we go. On the legs, a leg stump half volley, but watchfully played into mid-wicket for a single. Gotta say, it was definitely a boundary there for the taking. Kim Dae-on choosing to be a little more conservative.
He really was. I think he's just relieved to be at the other end after what he saw from Leo Sakurano Thomas. Only 2 off the over. It's a good fight back from Japan so far.
Absolutely, and a deep mid-wicket in position as well. Ooh, that kept low.
Exactly. There are demons in the pitch, I'm telling you. And that's why even with that LBW shout in the previous over, although it seems to be from this end where we had the variable bounce yesterday as well. That was the end where the player was hit in the chin.
Yeah, absolutely. Ibrahim Takahashi, thank God he's okay today. But I have to say, Ibrahim Takahashi conceding 2 maximums in that first over, and that's why we see a change in bowling. It looks like Declan Suzuki is into the attack.
Yeah, I'd say that would be captain and probably coach. Just saying, look, we've just got to change things up. They don't want another 14 run over. But because of that first over, it's still a bright start from South Korea.
Yeah, and interestingly, Kendall Fleming turning to his medium pacer, Declan Suzuki, so we see Alex Shirai Patmore standing up to the stumps. I would have been tempted to go with Kohei Kubota. Got a very good wicket the other day, yesterday in fact, hitting the top of off, just doing the basics right. But for now, here's Declan Suzuki with his first ball. That's a good start, back of a length, right on target, and push to backward point for a dot ball.
Well, it's a bustling economical action, isn't it, from Suzuki, who I understand is a black belt in karate.
It's 5-4 offside field. That's guided away between backward point and a deep third man. It's just going to be a single.
And of course, if I was a black belt in karate, that'd be one of the first things I'd tell my teammates. I'm sure he did as well, just to establish a pecking order. Just a big alpha move. Hi, my name's Declan. I'm a black belt in karate. And I tell you what, he can bowl as well. He's a very good Aussie rules football player too, Declan. This is his other sport as well, cricket. He's based down there in Melbourne.
Oh, that's Fuller, and he leaves that alone. Amar Lal, not too many times we've seen him do that in this competition so far.
Yeah, he's one of those, I think he's only 19 years old. He's at school last year, high school.
We're halfway through the third over, 17 for no loss. Oh, play and a miss. Declan Suzuki hasn't put a foot wrong so far in this over.
Suzuki's another one who likes to get through his overs quickly, hurry up the process, keep that dominance, keep it tight against these big hitters.
And it's in Japan's best interest to bowl their overs as quickly as possible. They want a result today. Back of a length on target yet again, in fact. Almost squeezing that back onto his stumps.
So this isn't the Amir Lau we saw the other day, but as long as someone's hitting out there in the middle, you've got to be happy.
You know what? I have a feeling South Korea have learned a lot from that Indonesia versus Japan game yesterday. You're playing on a turf wicket. If you can get up to 120, 130, it could be a winning score. Down the leg side, and a belated call of wide from the umpire. Useful run to South Korea's total. Tell you what, South Korea just slowing down a tad, 14 off that very first over. Just 4 runs have come in the last 11 deliveries.
Yeah, the clamps have gone on early from Sakurano Thomas and now Suzuki.
That's up pitch. Oh, good catch.
Wow.
Gully. Who is that fielder? He's done a really good job there.
That's Sakurano Thomas.
Of course it is. He can bowl, he can bat, he can catch.
That's a wonderful catch. Lau trying to guide it. It didn't work for him. And unfortunately, there we go. Wonderful stuff from Sakurano Thomas.
And the extra delivery results in a wicket.
It does. Yeah, sometimes you're not too disappointed if you get another chance. And Suzuki's on the board with his first wicket. And Japan's first.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge, huge wicket. And it's going to be interesting to see who walks in next. It could be Yunwoo Jun, the skipper. We'll get confirmation on that soon enough. But 18 for 1 after 3. Japan maybe just about with their noses in front. Yeah, there we go. Yunwoo Jun, I believe. In fact, it's Lee Kang-min coming in at number 3. Gotta say, I gotta get my eyes checked, James.
We're a fair distance up here. And it's okay because I tell you what, Jun has decided to hold himself back, the captain.
Oh, that was nearly a cotton bowl chance. Acrobatic stuff from Reo Sakurano Thomas yet again, but falling just short of the right arm seamer.
Well, he's living dangerously. Dai Yun, Sakurano Thomas, he's just been a revelation for this Japanese team. Just come into the side this year, works as a development officer for Japanese cricket as well.
Here we go, 6-3 offside field. That's 2 full, and he misses out on a full toss. Kim Dae-yeon with 2 maximums off his first 3 deliveries. His next 11 deliveries, he's only scored 4 runs.
And maybe this is why Jun, the Korean captain, held himself back a little bit. Just said, can you deal with the heat? I'll come out and start slapping it around.
I'll tell you what, Japan, they've been a little more quiet today, but they are focused. Driven. This time he finds that gap between extra cover and cover. It's running down to the boundary. And there we go. A very important boundary for Kim Dae-yeon, just breaking the shackles.
Yeah, it's a nice cover drive, isn't it? Didn't really need the feet because it was actually foolish. It did well to work it away. Nice wrists. And it's a boundary. It definitely breaks the shackles. They were tied down somewhat. Now the chance for Sakurano Thomas to have a response.
Defended to that short extra cover.
And I think that's wise. Dai Yun has hit his boundary. There's movement there for Sakurano Thomas. He's a danger man.
Tell you what, there's a lot of tension out there in the middle right now. I think if South Korea can get somewhere close to 60 for 1 or 60 for 2 after 10. Oh, goes after that one. A thickish outside edge squeezed between backward point and gully. They come back for 2.
Wow, risky business, streaky stuff. And but a valuable 2 runs.
You know what, I tell you, James, if they can get up to 60 for 1 or 60 for 2 at the end of 10 overs and maybe finish with around 130, I'm calling it. It's going to be Korea's game. Runs on the board, so important. Last ball of the 4th over. Watchfully played. It's a dot ball. The score after 4 overs is 24 for 1.
Yes, and if you've just joined us here at the Sano International Cricket Ground, there is a forecast for rain this afternoon, so it is in Japan's interest to try and get through these overs, as Jay was saying earlier. They want to try and make sure there's at least a game that counts. And if you're wondering why we get excited about 2 runs before, it's because yesterday the Indonesian team set a total of 84. They had a tough time on this pitch, so any runs are valuable.
I don't know if you noticed that, James, but a lot of birds just flew past us trying to find some cover. I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Look at that, Declan Suzuki, yet to make any mistakes with the ball. 1 for 2 so far. Yeah,
well, when the birds fly over and, of course, the dragonflies disappear, you know you're in trouble. There's one there. A lot of dragonflies yesterday enjoying the sun and the moisture coming off this pitch, which was underwater about 3 days ago.
Tell you what, we got some interesting looking dragonflies in Japan as well. That's left alone and signaled wide, in fact. Ooh, Declan Suzuki looking back at the umpire, not showing too much dissent.
That's a strict wide. I'm with Suzuki on this one. That's okay. He knows now what he's dealing with. He has to keep it tight. But yeah, that's a real strike zone there.
Declan Suzuki, he's got an old school look. That razor thin mustache. Oh, look at that.
No.
Another wide delivery. He's not happy with that one either.
Well, there are markers there, and he's just flirting with them. The umpire is just a no-nonsense Suzuki saying, "That's my stock delivery. What are you doing to me?"
I tell you, James, there's so many interesting subplots in this game. The turf wicket, the value of runs on the board, but the weather might come into it, so maybe it's better to chase. Oof. James, I cannot tell you who's on top right now. I think it's 50-50, straight down the middle.
Yeah, well, Suzuki did well to get that one, I guess, within the strike zone, within the marker, but Kangmin couldn't do anything with it.
Oh, play and a miss, just squaring up. Kang Min Lee yet to get off the mark. Looking for his first runs. And we can see him just fiddling with his pads and his gloves. Just stepping away from the stumps and gathering his thoughts. He's probably thinking, where can I pick up a single? Where can I get my boundaries? There's a big gap there between deep square leg and fine leg in the circle. And he finds that gap. Picks up his first run, so he's off the mark. And they're going at just under a runner ball right now, South Korea.
Well, despite those 2 wides, still not a bad over for Japan so far. And if Suzuki can not concede a boundary, remember he got a wicket on his last ball last time. He's got a couple more to bowl.
2 balls left in the 5th over. That's driven. Miron has some work to do. He's unable to cut off the single. Yep, looks like Sabarish Ravichandran there took a fantastic catch yesterday. One of the best catches of the tournament, running back. Put in a nice little dive as well, Sabarish Ravichandran.
Yeah, Reo Sakurano Thomas was the bowler, so he'll be buying a few beers for Ravi or whatever he likes.
That's guided away. Backward point, unable to cut it off. In fact, Gully unable to cut it off. Backward point runs around and keeps it down to a single. It's 29 for 1. We have 1 over left in the power play.
So I don't think South Korea need to be too desperate with a good start like this on this pitch. As we mentioned yesterday, I think there are a lot of people out there in the middle looking at it thinking it won't be high scoring again. So like you said, Jay, the 130 mark would be very tough to chase down, especially as we saw yesterday. The pitch breaks up There's uneven bounce from this end, where you can see Kangmin Lee, and then this is Kohei Kubota now into the attack.
Here we go, 6 balls left in the power play, and I just saw Lee Kang-min looking at that fine leg region, looking at that third man region. There we go. Behind square on the offside, picks up an easy single.
Well, it wasn't the most convincing stroke or run, but they got it. Kohei Kubota had a really nice spell yesterday with the ball. He's recently married as well to Mai, who's a nutritionist. So Kohei's going to stay slim for a long time, I'd say, and total athlete.
There you go, 5 balls left in the final power play over. A thickish inside edge that's been squeezed down to deep mid wicket. It's not going to get to the boundary, but they come back for a useful 2 runs. Look at that, loud claps from that Korean dugout as well. They know this is a pretty decent start. They're frustrating these Japanese players.
Yeah, Kohei, he's a big soccer fan, big football fan. He's looking forward to the World Cup next month in Qatar. But they're trying to get to a World Cup themselves.
Big shot attempted. Once again, doesn't get all of it. But is it going to get to the boundary? Ooh,
Oh,
a
wow.
fancy bit of footwork. And that keeps it down to 2. But the runs continuing to flow here for Korea. 5 runs off this over. Still 3 deliveries left.
It was almost like a dance, some kind of waltz or paso doble between those 2 fielders. Yamamoto Lake. Who did he get tangled up with there? It's quite romantic, actually.
Kohei Kubota needs to drag things back. Ooh, yet again for the 3rd time in this over. A bit of a thickish inside edge into the leg side. They cross through for a single. You know what? I can feel it, James. I think there's a big shot coming right now. Look at that. Kangmin Lee fiddling with his gloves. And he's asking the square leg umpire as well, how many balls left? Square leg umpire says 2 balls left. Oh, that's a big
Oh,
appeal.
big
He
shout.
squared him up. Oh, the umpire's unmoved. I like this. It's a little bit of a contest here between Kubota and the South Korean
Oh,
batters.
wow.
That was close, wasn't
If
it?
anything, it's maybe going down leg, but hard to see. It's from that camera shot. It's a bit obscured with the umpire there.
I tell you what, I felt like it was just straightening a tad. Smashes it down the ground. Look at that. Sticks out that right mitt. And just 6 runs off the over. It's the end of the power play. 35 for 1 after 6.
Well, there we go. Kim Dae-hyun leading the charge, 28 of 22. And that run rate of 5.8, I think 6 and over is really good on this pitch. From what we saw yesterday, so if you can get through, if we can get those 20 overs.
I tell you what, they've got batting to come with Dasser Iqbal, Yoon Woo Jun, and of course Shoaib Raja as well. All 3 of these players definitely capable of going big, and they did really well 2 days ago against Indonesia. In fact, against Japan, I beg your pardon. And we have a change in bowling, more spin in the form of Sabaurish Ravichandran. And I have to say, I'm surprised that we haven't seen more spin so far. Just a 1 over of spin from Ibi Takahashi. And of course, there's a lot of spinning options here for the Japanese skipper Kendall Fleming. We've got Sabaurish Ravichandran, Makoto Taniyama, and of course, Piyush Kambare. Flighted. That's smashed down to long on. It's just going to be a single. I tell you what, South Korea, they've got wickets in hand right now. They've got batting in that dugout. And if I was South Korea, I'd be very, very tempted to pick on one of these Japanese bowlers.
Oh,
there you
it
go,
got
just
him.
as we were saying. Kangmin Lee tries to go for an extravagant slog sweep and loses his middle stump.
Wow, that was outstanding stuff from Ravichandran. Beautiful work on the ball. And a big swing, huge swing, middle stump-ish. And you can't be, he's down in the proposal position. And of course, Ravichandran, another one Ravichandran recently married as well. And he proposes that, you're out, mate, off you go. So Kangmin Lee didn't trouble the scorers too much, just 3 from 9. And a chance now for Suchan to come in and help out Dai Yun, who's just been propping up this Korean innings. 2 down still isn't too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Park Soo-chan as well, one of the new names into this lineup. Well, he's not exactly a new name in Korean cricket. He did, of course, feature in those 2010 Asian Games. So he's been around for maybe around 15 years. And interestingly, I think it's a wise decision as well, Korea sending out the left-handed Park Soo-chan to take advantage of these Japanese leg spinners. But I love Sabarish Ravichandran's action. And on that replay just now, I'm sure you noticed a wrong-in as well, coming back into the right-hander. I wonder if he's going to stick to those wrong-ins. First ball for Park Soo-chan. Look at him coming out of the crease. Not quite to the pitch of that delivery and pokes it into the offside.
Well, he's got them spooked, hasn't he, Ravichandran?
That shorter, look at that, switching things up. A play animus from Park Soo-chan.
Yeah, it felt shorter and slower, just the variation.
Oh,
Wow.
Similar delivery that's edged down to a vacant third man region. They're going to come back for 2, are they? Absolutely, and he's going to make it in. So Park Soo-chan off the mark, but Sabarish Ravichandran causing early problems. Last ball of the over, 38 for 2. Kendall Fleming in at a short extra cover. Tossed up, look at that. That wrong end to close things out in the 7th over. And Japan maybe just sneaking their way back in the game, 38 for 2 after 7.
Yeah, it was nice stuff there from Ravichandran. Really good over. Plenty of deception, variation. Getting the wrong in there as well. It looks like they're going to continue with spin now with Piyush Kumbhade. Piyush is definitely a bowler who likes to hurry the batsman just with his economical run up and darts it in as well. It's a flatter delivery from Kumbhade. The left armour loves to give it a quick tweak. And look at him go, he's got him, first ball, Kumbhade. And Park Soo-chan, you've got to go. It's a 3rd wicket down for South Korea, 38 for 3 here at the Sano International Cricket Ground. Look at this, straight through him. Clipping off, top of off, and he knows that is just clinical precision. And the Amazon man has delivered once again.
Absolutely, 38 for 3 and the massive wicket of Kim Dae-yeon as well. I like how he just snuck in that cheeky arm ball off his first delivery. And Kim Dae-yeon, maybe a hint of premeditation, expecting that to turn away from him. And still no Hyun Woo Jun. The skipper continues to hold himself back. Shoaib Raja sitting in that dugout as well. And walking to the crease at number 5 is Nakash. Nakash, of course, yet to make a major contribution with the bat. Here we go, Nakash Alam. Is today his day? Piyush Kumbhade picking up exactly where he left off yesterday. Figures of, I believe, 2 for 10 yesterday. Conceding just 1 boundary and bowling, well, an endless procession of dot balls. It was a fantastic spell yesterday. 5 balls left in the 8th over, pushed into the offside. It's a good bit of fielding. Kendall Fleming into the action.
Oh, it's wide. You don't often see that from Kumbari. Look at him, straight back to the top of his mark. He wants to make amends immediately. It's just his style. He likes to hurry through. And so do the deliveries. Another one, he's got him! Oh, wow! Kumbare, what a spell! What an over! 2 wickets from this one. And now South Korea on the ropes. Wow. Piyush Kumbare, what a revelation he has been. A senior programmer from Amazon, delivers once again, and you know what? He is in great form. He was close to man of the match yesterday. I think he got some votes, didn't he, Jay? I might have voted for him. My votes don't count.
Yeah, tell you what, Piyush Kumbari, so impressive yesterday. I think he's been one of the bowlers of the tournament so far for Japan. And after this delivery, we have a very special guest, the CEO of the Japan Cricket Association, Mr. Alex Miyagi, will be joining us. But for now, Shoaib Raja coming in a very tricky position. 3 quick wickets in the last 5 minutes for Japan. This game has turned on its head. Watchfully played from Shoaib Raja, and you can understand why. That scoreline, 39 for 4, 2 balls left in the 8th over. Alex Miyagi watching intently. Got a slip in position for Piyush, nudged into the leg side. That 1 run off the over and those 2 big wickets as well. That first wicket of Kim Dae-yeon. He's been the main aggressor for South Korea, or at least he was. Drops it shorter. Look at that. Piyush Kumbari mixing things up. Ooh, could have had overthrows there. Nonetheless, Japan on top, 39 for 4 after 8. And of course, welcome to the comm box, Alex Miyagi. What do you make of this scoreline right now?
Hi Jay, hi everyone. Yeah, it's for Japan. It's looking good today, isn't it?
Yeah, Alex trying to stay as diplomatic as possible.
I'm just also trying to catch my breath, walking up the 3 steps, the stories to the 3rd floor.
Yeah, mate, I tend to pause after that first floor usually. But, mate, Alex, talk to us about yesterday. I think at one point I counted around 1,500 people in at one time.
Yeah, well, you've got some good eyes there. Yeah, it was a fantastic day. We had the local Tanama Furusato Matsuri, the festival, organized by the local Society of Commerce and Industry. And so one of their local big festivals was held here, and really good way for us to attract new crowds and audiences to the cricket. And they seem to enjoy themselves, enjoy the cricket ground. The first festival I think they had on grass. Yeah. So the dancing and the singing and all that, and yeah, the opportunity for them to watch some cricket.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's driven. Deep cover will cut this off. It's just a single. But of course, Alex, tell us a little bit more about the importance of cricket to the Sano community. I think a lot of people watching or, hearing about Japan cricket for the first time, I don't think they quite realize that, even our hotel is a cricket-themed hotel. There are cricket bats all over the place. There's all sorts of Japan cricket memorabilia as well. And it's driven. It's going to be a dot ball to a shortish mid-wicket. Like I said, a lot of Japan cricket memorabilia all over the place. Everybody knows what cricket is in Sano. Just talk to us about the importance of cricket to this community in Sano.
Yeah, I think the community is really important for us to start with. And when we came up with our strategy of developing cities of cricket around Japan, creating hubs where you've got grounds and you've got programs running and bringing in from the kids from the junior ages. We decided to go with Sano, and the way that we wanted to engage with them was to say, well, cricket can bring these social benefits, like from education to internationalization, or bringing tourism to the city as well, and trying to engage with a lot of people in the community. So one of the things that we've tried to increase over the years is visibility. Visibility in town and visibility at the cricket as well. And the festival was something that we wanted to do for a long time. It's something that was in the making for 15 years, where we tried to engage with different people and tried working with them, combining what they do with what we do to make something better. And I think at this stage, with this ground now being developed into a nice field and COVID interrupting that sort of period soon after this was built, now people are wanting to do stuff with us here and linking with the international vibe here, the people coming from all over the place. So it was a very special day for us.
Mate, yeah, it was a fantastic atmosphere. You had, I believe it was the Tigers fans. Yes, the Tigers fans in those bleachers, very loud. The music was pumping all day. But you also had, well, the majority of people were ethnically Japanese. We had kids playing cricket down there in the nets. And talk to us a little bit more about, growing cricket in Japan, especially, cricket in schools around Sano.
Yeah, so we've been going into schools for a long time in Sano now. And even talking to one of the food vendors at the festival yesterday, he's from this school, this high school. The last year he was one of the graduates there. And he'd had a go with cricket at the school. So now we're getting people who are maybe 20, 25 years old in Sano. Most of those people have played cricket in schools because we've been going to those schools for so long. It's the older people. Then the festival was a great opportunity to bring the older population in Sano to come down and have a look at cricket and get engaged with, like having the national team playing is a perfect way. Like anyone can get behind a national team. So getting them engaged with cricket was the next step. But those. It's all about the community, and from the schools is the start, but it's only the start. You need to get into the older generation as well, especially in Japan.
Yeah, absolutely. Japan, of course, has, I think, the world's most rapidly aging population. I'm not sure why I even bothered mentioning that. There we go, Piyush Kambari just dragging back his length. Another dot ball to close out the 10th over. It's 43 for 4 at the halfway mark. But Alex, I'm not going to keep you too long, just a few more questions. I'm sure the viewers are loving these insights about Japanese cricket. Talk us through some of the history of the Sano International Cricket Ground and, when you started using this as, well, the spiritual home of Japanese cricket.
Yeah, the first match we played was in 2012. And that was the 60th anniversary of Japan and Pakistan diplomatic relations. And the Pakistan women's A team came over, and we were looking for a place to play. I did know that that was the last year for this school, and so I had my eyes on this great field. And I went to the city council and the school and the prefectural government and said, we've got the Pakistani ambassador is coming and bringing a team from Pakistan. We can't just play a match on the river grounds where we don't have shade, we don't have water, we can't accommodate the ambassador. And they're like, okay, let's see what we can do. And getting into the school before it closed, I think, was really key, because after that, no one has really been given extra access. We were being given access because we had access from before the school was closed. So starting developing from there, and people realizing that this is the only place in Japan that you can, at the moment, that you can fit in a full international science ground at the time. So now we've got a few more places, but getting that first place was very crucial for us.
And on the topic of that, we've got the Women's East Asia Cup coming up in the last week of October. And that East Asia Cup, of course, being played between Japan and Hong Kong, their women's teams. And it's going to be played in Kaizuka Prefecture, Osaka. Talk to us a little bit more about that venue and what we hope to expect from that venue.
Yeah, so it was a few years ago, the deputy mayor of Kaizuka got in touch with us and said he found out that we would do some great stuff in Sano. And he had a bit of land that it was actually the Osaka prefectural land that was given back to the city, and he was looking to try and do something, but they needed to give access to helicopters in emergencies, so they didn't want to put up big netting or other things, and he thought, well, cricket shouldn't need netting, so would you guys like to come down and work with us? And I was like, well, yeah, great. And Kaizuga is a 15-minute drive from the Kansai International Airport, so the access is great, and so for us and for them, it's a win-win situation. And they hope to attract people from around the world through to Kansai International Airport to Kaizuga City, and visit the city and get to know the city. So, yeah, we're very excited. It's the first international tournament we're hosting in West Japan, first in Kaizuga. Trying to engage the local community there as well, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not going to keep you too long. I have one last question. After this delivery, Ibi Takahashi dragging things back nicely. A big shot that's in the air and down to that vacant third man region, past that first slip. And you can see why we have a first slip in position as well. 2 runs off that, 47 for 4. We have 1 ball left in the 11th over. And I gotta say, South Korea, they're being starved of boundaries. But like I said, Alex, in the last 3.5 years, since the pandemic, in fact, you have a lot of players of Japanese heritage coming in to this 11 and the Japanese cricket setup. But of course, they have experience of playing in full member countries as well. So just talk to us about these players and what they've added to this Japanese cricket ecosystem.
No, it's been a exciting few years. We went to the World Cup with the under-19 team, so our junior programs are working. The kids are coming through from that as well. The domestic scene is also thriving, so you see some of our domestic players that don't have Japanese passports playing as well, and they're adding their experience as well. And all to that with the youth and the experience that these kids with mostly Japanese mothers and Australian fathers, but some Kiwis as well. Some English guys are around as well, been in our system. Just another dynamism where the domestic players need to sort of are realizing now, and because they're coming not just to play for international tournaments, they're coming to play domestic league matches as well. You need to know these players that have Japanese heritage, that are good players and have been playing in the system. And playing in Japan, we're still trying to establish the culture of playing cricket as well. And that's not easy to develop overnight. And having those players bring over the knowledge and experience and breathing cricket in the full member countries and sharing that with the other players is absolutely gold for the players that are here.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. It's such an interesting blend of cultures, and of course, like you said, that experience of playing in full member countries, and of course, the likes of Makoto Taniyama as well, who've come through, I believe, the age group system as well. So exciting things happening in Japan. 1,500, maybe 2,000 people in yesterday. I gotta say, it's been a great trip. My first time to Japan, my first time in Sano, of course. And both James and I have thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. The hospitality's been great as well. That patented Japanese hospitality. But Alex, thank you so much for joining us in the commentary box and sharing your insights with us. And we hope to see you sometime soon, maybe tomorrow if you've got some time.
Yeah, sure. If the weather holds and we've got a match, then I'd love to come down and enjoyed having you guys here, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thanks, guys.
Piyush Kambade comes in again. It was nearly a catch before, a tough chance. And he is on top of things from that end after 3 overs, 2 for 4 from Kambade. So hard to get away. Just a dominant force. Totally put the brakes on the South Koreans, who are 50 for 4 after 12 overs. And as you can see, the bowling figures there, it was Unfortunately, Takahashi, he got taken to task 14 off that first over. But there we go. Kambare coming back 2 for 4. Wow, magical stuff from him. The economy rate of 1.33. You don't see it. But like we said, this pitch does have demons. We thought 130 might be a good score here. And South Korea were on target for that. It's slowed right down now. They need a couple of big overs. Big shout. Ravi Chandran keen to get another. But no, the umpire says there was no touch. Raja 4 from 19. It's not a great stat for a T20 batter. 4 for 20 now. And Raja decides, okay, might loosen up the shoulders just a little bit. I haven't seen a boundary for a while. Big shot from the keeper. Wanted a potential stumping out of that. Ravi Chandran, he's back to his mark. It feels like he's got unfinished business in this over. He wants to bowl at Suchan, sorry. Oh, and it was just a mistimed, almost a pull over the bowler's head. It's a single off it, 2 off the over. Korea, 52 for 4 here in Sano. Japan on top after they won the toss and decided to bowl. And great hearing the thoughts from Alex Miyagi, the CEO of Japan Cricket. And maybe tomorrow, if he does pop up, we can ask him about his playing days. He's been pretty modest there. He didn't mention he was a bit of a demon bowler back in the day. Pretty much established Japan cricket into the force in the East Asia Pacific region that it is now. It's a very young team now, apart from one notable exception of Shogo Kimura, who's not playing today, the former baseball pro. But you were watching before Declan Suzuki, he was 19, he was at high school last year in Australia. We've got another 19-year-old opening the batting, Lachlan Yamamoto Lake. There's two of the sort of Australian Japanese lads have come over here, and there's Reo Sakurano Thomas from Cambridge, New Zealand. And now it is Takahashi. Wow, he's got him. He's got his man straight away. Takahashi, he got carded in the first over, and now a breakthrough. Park Soo-chan, he's got to go. South Korea now 52 for 5. There we go, the scorecard is just updated. Yeah, 52 for 5 after just in the 14th over now, and it's one of those ones where somebody had to swing, but unfortunately wicket off the first ball means they bring in Iqbal, and he can hit the ball hard.
Absolutely. 46 off 24 2 days ago.
Yeah, Madasa Iqbal. But the I guess what you call the quiet overs were extremely quiet for South Korea, unfortunately. Lost any momentum that they did have.
Here we go. Takahashi to continue. That's tucked down to fine leg. And no run. Looks like Kendall Fleming, the skipper, down at fine leg. But this innings from South Korea has really stalled. They're losing wickets. They're losing them quickly. Lets that one go. Oh, he's not happy with himself, Mudassir Iqbal. He knows there was a massive gap there in the offside. Oh, bang! Down the ground. Long on, settling under this.
Oh, God!
And it just goes over his outstretched arms. Look at that, a welcome boundary. A maximum, in fact, for South Korea. 58 for 5. We have 2 balls left in the 14th. James, is this a momentum changer?
Well, they badly needed that.
Look at that. Watchfully played this time, Mudassir. It's been an interesting innings. He's only been there for 4 balls. Missed out on an easy boundary earlier. Smacks the next one over long on. And a textbook forward defensive off the next delivery. 1 ball left in this over. Bang! Over that extra cover fielder. It's flying down to the boundary and it gets there. So 10 runs off the over, but a wicket as well. 62 for 4 after 14.
Well, nice work from Iqbal. Look at that. Leans back and just finds it, carves it over extra cover. Nothing wrong with that. You love to see it because the game needed it. South Korea badly needed it. And you know what? I thought 6 and over was going to be pretty good on this pitch. And if Iqbal can keep doing that, get to 120 maybe. It's tough though. He needs big overs now.
And the pick of the bowlers so far today, Sabarish Ravichandran. He's into his last over now. Coming over the wicket to Shoaib Raja, I believe. Yep, Shoaib Raja on strike. That's guided into the offside. Ooh, a nice diving stop by backward point, but unable to prevent that single.
Now, Jay, I don't want to quibble, but I sounds like I'm a paid-up member of the Piyush Kumbhare fan club, but he's got 2 for 4. So
No, you know what? I'm going to take the L on this one. Change my mind. Piyush Kumbhare, the pick of the bowlers so far.
he would be coming up if he's got his earplugs in, listening to us, and be like, "Excuse me."
Oh, man.
They were operating nicely, though, the 2 spin twins, weren't they?
I'd say I've never seen you that angry or disappointed in this whole trip. There's this look of disgust on your face.
My guy Piyush. Don't forget the Amazon man and his many deliveries. He's look, I tell you what, they have operated really nicely in tandem. They've slowed everything down.
Bang, that's taken by backward point. An absolutely massive wicket of Mudassir Iqbal. 6-4, a couple of dots, and now he's dismissed. 63 for 6. And once again, it's Japan on top. There we go on the replay. Bang, he hit it well. And it was well taken as well. Lucky Yamamoto Lake. 6 wickets down.
He didn't need that. He knew he could place that shot, even go low with a conventional cut. Just finding someone there. He was annoyed with himself as he went off. Because sometimes you got to play the traditional cricket shot. That was one such time. And he hit with enough venom to get a boundary, but unfortunately it was a sharp take as well. Let's give credit to the fielder there.
Gotta say, finally walking in at number 8 is Hyunboo Jun. Mate, I don't know what you're doing all the way down at number 8. Interesting tactics here from South Korea. They keep changing up this batting order. I thought they absolutely nailed it in that last game against Japan. I would have stuck to a similar strategy today. Nonetheless, 63 for 6. It's been all Japan in the last, 25 minutes or so. Ravichandran on the money yet again.
And that fielder, Lucky Yamamoto Lake, He was there on the spot to dismiss a danger man of Iqbal. So, well, Jun is another danger man if he can get things going.
Bang. Hasn't got all of it, but that goes down to long on. He's off the mark, the South Korean skipper. Tell you what though, Shoaib Raja 6 off 22. He's got to get a move on here. Has really slowed things down in this innings for South Korea. South Korean veteran. It's cut away into the offside.
Oh,
Ooh,
lovely
look at
finish.
that.
It's Yamamoto Lake again. He's a cat. Good athlete. And he's, I think he plays pretty good club cricket at a good level in Perth with the likes of Cameron Bancroft, I think, is in his team, his club side. I think that's Willerton, is it? The team that he plays for. Yamamoto Lake. We'll see him opening the batting, I guess, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. Opening the batting in the first 2 games. Got into the 20s yesterday. Looked threatening, but got out well short of his half century. Looked good, though. Striking it well. You know who else looks good? Piyush Kambare. That's uppish. Guided away between gully and backward point. They're thinking about 2. Yeah, they're coming back for it. Yes, well done. Shoaib Raja, a nice quick call. And the non-striker responding well also. Useful 2 runs here for South Korea.
Well, Raja, if he really needs to get runs with that sort of run rate now.
Yeah, absolutely. And only 4 fielders in the circle, so lots of gaps here, even if they can't get away the boundaries. They can pick up those singles. That's driven down to long off. 3 runs off this over so far. 4 deliveries left in Piyush Kambare's spell.
So Hyunwoo Jun, my apologies, has to face Kambari and absolutely misses it by a mile.
Yeah, he's not happy with himself either. Just smack to the air. Mate, you got to smack the ball as hard as you smack that air. 3 runs off the over so far. They're looking to go after Piyush Kambare. A big shot is coming. I can feel it. Fired in.
Wow.
Piyush Kambare on more than one occasion today. When he sensed the batters just going at him, fires it in fast and straight.
Jun he's waiting for these, wants to do some gardening. Unhappy with the pitch. He's saying this is the reason why I missed the ball twice by quite some distance. Fair enough, Jun. We'll take your word for it.
Here we go, big shot coming. Oh, has that been put down? It's edged down to third man. I think it's been edged. We're waiting for the signal from the umpire. Oh no, signaled buys. Look at that. It's a generous amount of turn for Piyush Kambare.
Well, I think that came out of that problem area in the pitch. There's a little bit of uneven bounce. Just reared up and beat the keeper, Shirai Patmore.
Last ball of his spell. That's driven. Fancy bit of footwork, but he's unable to prevent the single. What a spell from Piyush Kambare. 4 overs, 2 for 8, and he didn't concede a single boundary. South Korea 70 for 6. We have 4 overs left in the first innings.
Well, that's nicely bowled from Kambare. Job done from him. I guess he's got a field as well, but he's held up his end of the bargain for Japan, and now can they finish with a flourish here? Something they can, if they can post a total that they can potentially defend. Remember, Indonesia yesterday can only get to 84. There were predictions today that this was still going to be tough to score on this pitch.
And for the first time today, we're going to see Makoto Taniyama into the attack. 4 overs left. An interesting decision, giving it to your wrist spinner at this stage. Conceded 12 in his only over yesterday. That's over the top, over that cover fielder. They're thinking about coming back for 2. Oh, a more accurate throw, and I get the feeling that Hyunwoo Jun would have been in trouble. But look at that. I think South Korea know that they have to attack Makoto Taniyama right now.
Here he is, the Shane Warne of Japanese cricket, wearing number 23, just like Warney.
That's flatter, it stays low, it's pulled straight to Kendall Fleming. A useful dot ball here for Japan. And Korea, South Korea, they know it's so important to get a boundary right now. Tossed up, turns it into a full toss, that's into the leg side. Oh, that's a good save from the fielder there, Declan Suzuki. Doesn't take the catch, but throws it back into the field of play. The umpire's asking him, is that a 6? He says no. The umpire takes his word for it.
This angle will tell us that, oh, no, it wasn't. By the looks of things, I'd like to see the side-on angle if we can.
Yeah, I think that was all right, but that's a very important save from Declan Suzuki. If he'd went for that catch, I feel like he would have stepped over the boundary, saving 5 runs. Declan Suzuki, he's got some work to do, and he's not going to be able to cut it off. Splits that gap between square leg and deep mid-wicket, an important boundary for South Korea. Yoonwoo Jun moves on to 5 off 6.
Well, Jun getting one out of the screws or another one, and now this is his chance to make a mark for the captain's knock. If he can bring them home strong, he really needs 10 and over.
Goes big again. This is a catching opportunity. Declan Suzuki makes no mistake. Diving forward, that's not easy. But it's the 7th wicket down for South Korea. They're 77 for 7 with 1 ball left in the 17th.
Well, any leg spinner will know that he set that trap and Jun fell for it, living dangerously, really. There was another tough chance out on the boundary a few balls ago, and now nicely done from Declan Suzuki. Got on his bike, got there in time, lunged forward and just absorbed the impact.
Mate, you know, I know there's a school of thought out there that says in T20 cricket, after hitting a boundary, don't just look for a single, hit another boundary. But in my opinion, given the conditions and given what's at stake, it's so important to get runs on the board. I think he should have been looking for a single with just 4 fielders inside that 30-yard circle.
Yeah, there are areas to get runs. I know what Jim was trying to do. To be honest, I think the tactic of coming in this late was the killer. He's a top order batsman, Jun. Maybe there's an issue with fitness. It could be an injury, but I would normally imagine we'd normally see Jun up on the top 4.
Absolutely. Nishat Nazmus Saqib walks in at number 9, smashes it straight to long off and picks up a single. The end of an eventful over, I have to say. 8 runs off it and the big wicket of Yoonwoo Jun. We have 18 balls left in this innings. South Korea, they're 78 for 7. James.
That was a roller coaster of an over, that one. I don't know what to make of it. But in the end, sending someone as dangerous as the Korean captain Jun back into the pavilion, which is a small tent, that's the valuable thing. There's the Manhattan. Look at those middle overs. That's like the Sano skyline. Just a couple of little 2 or 3 story houses and apartments. And then they need a bit more of that Tokyo skyline in there. Or the Seoul skyline. Pick a skyline. It's not working for them right now, South Korea. But here we go. Declan Suzuki. He's just a military medium pacer, but he comes within a nagging length usually.
And entrusted with the death overs today, Alex Shivai Patmore up to the stumps. Bang! And has he found that gap? Oh, look at that, mid-off. A nice diving save. Saved at least 1 run, if not an additional 3. So just a single there to Nazmus Saqib that brings Shoaib Raja back on strike. I gotta say, Declan Suzuki taking that very impressive catch, taking a wicket in his spell so far.
It's an impressive here and Mo combination as well.
It's down the ground. Long on will cut this off. Another single here for South Korea.
Especially for a 19-year-old Declan Suzuki. He's got a full mullet and moustache. If anyone's watched the Eastbound and Down series with Kenny Powers, the former baseball player, that's what Declan Suzuki seems to be channeling right now. And he wants more wickets. I think Sakurana Thomas helped him out with his first wicket.
Oh, look at that. Classic death bowling. Gets it into the block hole. That's inside edged to fine leg for just a single.
Yeah, he dismissed the danger man, Amir Lal, early on, did Suzuki.
Absolutely. He kick-started things for Japan, of course, with that very first wicket. Here we go. Declan Suzuki started the fire. That's pulled away. And that goes into that mid-wicket deep square leg region. It's just a single. It was a slower delivery as well from Declan Suzuki. Very intelligent bowling.
Yeah, you've got to have variation in T20. Suzuki mixing it up. 4 singles so far. This is where Korea really need to find the boundary.
14 balls left in this innings. A big shot attempted, an optimistic appeal, but more importantly, a dot ball for Japan. It's so important, Korea, that they have to get up to at least 100 runs. And that's something Indonesia failed to do yesterday. Indonesia, of course, were 59 after 13 overs, looking good for maybe 105, 110, but that innings just fell away for them. South Korea, they've done slightly better, but 13 balls left. Still a bit of an under par total for them.
Still love to see Sana Ula bowl on this pitch, so there's plenty to look forward to.
Oh, a play and a miss, a fantastic over from Declan Suzuki. Just 4 runs off it. 2 overs left, 82 for 7.
So pretty tidy from Declan Suzuki, the 19-year-old.
Absolutely. Declan Suzuki was, in fact, the player of the match at that Japan Futures League, an under-23 tournament back in, I want to say April, May. Declan Suzuki finished things off in that chase with a maximum. So Declan Suzuki, we're likely to see him in that lower middle order. But that's only because Japan have a very, very deep batting lineup. Someone like Makoto Taniyama coming in at number 8, even though he opened at that 2018 EAP Group B qualifier. Speaking of Makoto Taniyama, he's going to continue bowling the penultimate over. Tossed up, down the ground. How far is this gone? Oh, yes, it goes over long off for a welcome maximum. Nishat Nazmusakib not letting the leg spinner settle.
Wow, that's nice. Good timing. Kept his head reasonably still, didn't try to overhit it, and just timed it beautifully over long off. It's majestic. There
He goes again along the ground this time. Long off has a little more work to do. Is he going to cut it off? Yes, absolutely. Gets a nice round of applause as well from the crowd and from Alex Shirai Patmo. 7 runs off the over. Pressure on Makoto Taniyama. Oh, that's too short. Almost a double bouncer. And a run-out chance, in fact.
He's gone.
Look at that. So much to keep up with off that delivery. And oh my word, it's the massive wicket of... We'll get confirmation. Yeah, no, in fact, yes. It's Shoaib Raja who hit that maximum earlier in the over. Oh, look at that. The bat just getting stuck in the crease as well.
Yeah, it's still a bit spongy out there, but there's no excuse. Just a run that wasn't going to work for them. And Shirai Patmore, I really like the look of him behind the stumps. Confident, stands up to some of the medium paces. Very skillful when the throw comes in from the outfield. Quite acrobatic at times, and right there, he was just latched onto it really quickly.
Yeah, that was very disappointing from Shoaib Raja, hitting that maximum earlier in the over. Ooh, it's going to be tough to get to 100 for South Korea. That's down the leg side. We're waiting for the signal from the umpire. They scamper through for 1. They're thinking about 2. Oh, Nishat Nazmusakib There's no need to take these risks. It's just one run, and you only have 2 wickets in hand.
Well, can they get up to 100? That's the challenge right now. Taniyama. He's enjoying it.
Short and smashed. Ooh, one bounce to that deep cover fielder. So close, it could have been the 9th wicket down for South Korea. South Korea, you have to be very, very careful. There's a deep square leg in position, a deep mid wicket. It's a long boundary as well. Oh, play and a miss. In fact, it's given. He's out of his crease.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, another eventful over. Makoto Taniyama bouncing back well, but South Korea just losing the plot here. They're now 92 for 9. Nishat Nazmus Saqib, the 2nd wicket to fall in this over. That was a wild, wild swing.
Well, there he is, Shirai Patmore. Just talking about him. He's just an impressive cricketer. Goes about his business, really tidy behind the stumps. I think we've only had one set of byes, and that was from the end where the pitch plays tricks. So that's there we go into the last over.
Ah, interestingly, a change of bowling. I would have continued with Declan Suzuki. He's doing so well, conceding just 4 runs in his previous over, but it's Reo Sakurano Thomas into the attack.
Well, he loves to mop up the tail, Sakurano Thomas. That's one of his jobs. And can he do that now?
It's Lee Wan Yi on strike. Goes big appeal and given. 92 all out. That's all she wrote. South Korea, I don't think this is enough. But what a bowling performance once again from the Japanese.
It's been wonderful from the Japanese bowlers, and also shout out to Shirai Patmore behind the stumps. He has been a revelation, hasn't he? Alexander Shirai Patmore. Could you give a man of the match performance to a keeper, just for keeping? Could we see something like that here today at the Sano International Cricket Ground? So much intrigue, and of course, the pitch has demons. It's been low scoring all round since they've gone on the grass, and of course it's because of the rain a few days before that's caused all these problems. So it's not easy out there, but it doesn't seem enough from South Korea. We'll wait and see. Jay, I'm looking forward to it. Here's the scorecard.
Yeah, absolutely. Kim Dae-yeon top scoring with 29 of 24. Not much else to speak of. Shoaib Raja, he was going well. Hit a massive 6 down the ground over long off. It looked like South Korea were pushing 100 or 105. Unfortunately, 92 for 10 with only 3 batters getting into double figures. Now let's take a look at that bowling card coming up soon. Ooh, it's quite the bowling card for Japan. 2 wickets for Subhash Ravichandran, 2 for 12. 2 for 8, Piyush Kambare, the Amazon man, delivers yet again. 2 for 16 for Makoto Taniyama, and a wicket apiece for Ibrahim Takahashi, Reo Sakurano Thomas, and Declan Suzuki.
They're a real ensemble cast, aren't they, this Japanese side? They bat deep, everybody seems to be able to bowl, and their keeper is something special. And there we go, there's the honours in the match summary so far. But look, it's a meagre total, but it is a tough pitch to bat on. Can they break through early? Like I said, I want to see Sano Ula, I want to see a few of these Korean bowlers come out here and have a go. They got punished the other day by Kendall Karawaki Fleming, Japanese captain, but that was on the artificial pitch. Now it's a fair fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And Japan just stuttered a little bit in that chase yesterday as well. They lost 6 wickets in that chase. So you never know, early wickets could set things up nicely in this contest. I'm one of your commentators for the day, Jay Dansigani. If you like what you've heard, you can always follow me on Twitter at Jay Dansigani. And my friend and co-commentator, James McConey, he's on Twitter as well, but he...
Yeah, I'd rather you not follow me, but I am there. If you can spell my name, at James McConey, I'm around. I'm on Instagram as well. But hey, We're keeping it classy here. Don't worry about us. Let's worry about some cricket. We've got the second innings coming up very shortly here in Sano, Japan versus Korea.
I don't wanna be without you.
All right, welcome back to the Sano International Cricket Ground for this East Asia Pacific sub-regional qualifier between Japan and South Korea. South Korea set a meagre total of 92, but given the conditions, given the pitch, not the worst. But Japan with so much firepower in the batting. Heavy favourites to take this out. They just need to make sure they don't lose their way with wickets on a pitch that's a bit of a minefield here. And in fact, the end that Sano Ula looks like he's going to open from for South Korea is the danger end. There's been lots of variable bounce and quite difficult for players to read the pitch from this end. And the two Japanese batsmen out there. We've got Supun Navratna, who'll be facing, and Lachlan Yamamoto Lake at the non-striker's end. So Navratna takes a moment, composes himself.
Absolutely, we have one slip in position. Here's the left armour, first ball of the innings. That's down the leg side, it's going to be signalled wide. So first runs on the board here for Japan.
So Sano Ula needs to get that radar sorted because there's plenty on offer if he pitches it around off stump. We saw it from every single bowler from that end.
Coming over the wicket. Oh, that's in the air. This is perhaps a catching opportunity. Mid-on settles under it. Oh, he juggles it. It's in and it's out. And they come back for 2 runs as well. Look at this. Nervous moments already for Japan.
What a let off there. Missed time by Navratna. And this is a shocker here. Bounces so far out of his hands. He did a full pirouette actually. He got himself a bit tangled up.
Watchfully played down to mid-off, I beg your pardon. Who fails to collect the ball. Look at that. Loud cheers and applause from that Japan dugout. They know that nothing fancy is needed. It's an achievable target of 93.
Wow, that drop chance. Is it going to come back to haunt them? South Korea. Tough chance, yes. He was sprinting, twisting, turning. Couldn't hold on.
And we actually have the DRS sheet right in front of us here in the comm box. We'll get back to that in a moment. Oh, that pace, that bounce, and that angle away from Yamamoto Lake. An outside edge, I tell you what, would have made things interesting. But coming back to that DRS sheet, we need at least 5 overs for a game. If Japan don't lose any wickets, they have to be 19 for none after 5 overs. Par score is 18, so they have to be 1 past that par score. Down the ground, finds that gap between the bowler and mid-on. First boundary of the innings for Japan. They're 8 for no loss with 2 balls left in the first over.
Well, great confidence from Lachlan Yamamoto Lake. Lovely lofted drive. I'd say he knows that equation as well. And he knows they've got to get on with it. It's the best way to play on this pitch, I think, especially at the start.
Yeah, I think the best way to play is, well, hey, just play your natural game. Don't think about DRS. And of course, Japan, if they lose 2 wickets, then after 5 overs, they have to be at, I'm going to check my notes, 24 to pull off a victory. That's into the leg side. It was uppish, but it beats mid-wicket. He's in hot pursuit. He's not going to be able to cut off the 2. That score now moves on to 10 for no loss. Oh, and of course, it's DLS, not DRS. Look at
Yeah,
me.
you're thinking about the Duckworth-Lewis, of course. Just call it what it is. Everyone knows what the Duckworth-Lewis is. It's a nightmare system that is still works. It's needed.
Thank God for our group chat.
Duckworth Lewis. Yeah, I was wondering where you're getting this information from. That would suddenly had the technology that we didn't have. But I tell you what, Yamamoto Lake, another bright start, swinging freely. Navratna living dangerously. Yamamoto Lake is a talented musician. He's a accomplished pianist, classically trained, went past grade 8, and he decided to turn into a rapper. I'm sure his mum won't mind. He's part of a group with his friends from the subcontinent called BRB Munde, M-U-N-D-E.
I mean, that's some fantastic trivia.
BRB Munde. You know what Munde means?
Monday means like dudes.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Mate, I know my Hindi and Urdu. Testing me out.
I tested you out. That's all right. Good knowledge, Jay.
Here we go. Nakash into the attack to bowl that second over.
So look for them. I think they've got some. They might have some stuff on. I'm going to Spotify them tonight. You should just YouTube BRB Mundi, see what the hip hop stylings are like. But of course, he's got that classical side to him, so he loves a bit of jazz as well. Interesting character, Lachlan Yamamoto Lake. But right now, it's his opening partner, Navratna.
That's into the leg side. He's made a good connection on that. He's going to run down to deep mid-wicket. First boundary of the innings for Supun Navratna. Both batters now from this Japan team getting a good start. 14 for no loss. Japan, once again, they're in a hurry to finish things off here at the Sano International Cricket Ground. If they win today, they have not just 1 foot, I would say 1.5 feet in that regional qualifier, which will be played next year. Nakash, he's going to have to do better. One slip in position. You look at that, bowling nice and fuller, that in-between length. Supun Navratna, his feet rooted to the crease. Play and a miss. 4 balls left in this over.
So Nakash, with a bit of height, bustles in. Gets in the slot.
Look at that, mid-on. Doesn't even bother chasing that. So second boundary of the over. I gotta say, that's the shot of the innings. Nice high elbow. Supun Navratna sent out there to get a move on. That's exactly what he's been doing.
It's a luscious on drive, isn't it? Showing them the maker's name of the bat from Navratna. And it's exactly what you want to see if you're a Japanese fan. Wonderful stuff. Holds the pose. Why not? It's 4 all the way.
Ooh, clots this. Down to long off. Ooh, Lachlan Yamamoto Lake looking for that second run. Sent back, and wisely so. Japan, you don't have to take risky singles, especially when you're hitting it this well.
Yeah, they've already got 9 from this over. I know they want to get on with it, and I think it's the right tactics, but they also don't want to lose their way. We saw them yesterday struggle a bit against Indonesia in that chase.
Oh, a play and a miss. Hands on his head. That one just sneaking over middle and leg.
Wow, it's a lot of movement too, isn't it? It's getting a lot there. So Nakash probably should be encouraged by the movement at least.
South Korea looking for that all-important first wicket. Slapped into the offside, doesn't find the gap. They come through for a single. It's 20 for no loss after 2, and a reminder, if South Korea lose today, they are officially out of the running for those regional finals. 3 teams already in those regional finals, of course. Vanuatu winning the sub-regional qualifier Group A, I want to say a few weeks ago. maybe a month or two ago. And they've joined Philippines and PNG. So one more spot left at that regional qualifier. Whoever wins this tournament will take that final spot and get one step closer to the World Cup.
Yeah, I do enjoy the stats in cricket, but I've got to say the Duckworth-Lewis system is beyond my pay grade and definitely beyond my grades at school as well. So if it does end up going to that, I'm just going to have to deal with it as it gets more and more gloomy and overcast here in Sano. Let's hope we can get a result without any stoppage in play.
We have a change in bowling. Amir Lal coming into the attack, the pick of the bowlers against Japan 2 days ago, 2 for 28 in his 4 overs. And I like this. This is one of the contests to watch out for. Lachlan Yamamoto Lake likes going square on the leg side, likes having a nice little slog, but that ball is just keeping a little bit low from this end. In fact, sometimes it bounces up a little more than it should. Just ask Ibrahim Takahashi, who was struck on the helmet yesterday. Just getting his field right. First ball for Amir Lal. Tossed up and left alone. Look at that, lucky Yamamoto Lake. I think he realized it was an arm ball just going on with the arm.
And a good length as well from Amir Lal first up. And that's why Yamamoto Lake didn't want a piece of it.
Goes big this time. I don't think he's got all of it.
Oh, no.
Deep mid-wicket, just hesitating. It was a low catch. And it goes through his hands for 4, deep mid-wicket. You had to do better than that. Let's take a look at that replay. Oh, should have kept running for it. Deep mid-wicket.
Yeah, there was a lack of conviction there from the fielder. Let's hope it's not the same guy, because the court session after the match in the South Korean team could be severe. Might be a nudie run. I'm not sure what they've got planned for 2 drop catches in the outfield. But yeah, if he carried on, been more aggressive, more assertive, and definitely tried to get something on the ball, because the result was a boundary.
Mid-wicket moving back and moving into a straighter position as well. That's very, very interesting. What's also interesting is we have both a mid-wicket and a deep mid-wicket in position. Goes down the ground, long on with a chance, decides not to go for the catch. So I tell you what, Japan, they're being aggressive, but they're living dangerously too. 25 for none, making early inroads into this target.
Well, these 12 runs on Navratna's scorecard will be the hardest for South Korea to look at. Gave a chance very early on, and is put down in the outfield.
Down the ground, hasn't gotten all of it. 6 runs off this over so far, but Amir Lal, I think he deserved that wicket of Lachlan Yamamoto Lake. But both these openers sent out there to attack the power play. Look at that. An interesting stance. Shivnarayan Chandapal-esque stance here from Yamamoto Lake. Amir Lal wants to get his field right. And he's telling Long On, just move a little bit straighter.
He wants to go over mid-wicket, doesn't he? There he goes.
Oh, an inside edge down to fine leg. Could have gone onto his stumps. But he picks up a single instead. What an interesting over. 27 for none after 3.
Yeah, Lal, he tied him up there, but no reward for him or any of the South Koreans currently. Japan 27 for none. Well on target here.
Yes, absolutely. They're well ahead of that Duckworth-Lewis equation at this point. We need 5 overs to constitute a game, with a par score after 3 overs is, of course, 10 for no loss. So they're 17 runs ahead of Duckworth-Lewis. That doesn't mean too much if we don't get the next 2 overs in, but I tell you what, I think we're going to get those 2 overs in. It's cloudy, but I don't notice too many dark clouds here at the Sano International Cricket Ground. So if we have a result today, and if Japan wins, South Korea are done. That's the end of their tournament. They still have 1 game left tomorrow.
Yep, it's cloudy with a chance of cricket balls. Let's hope we get the cricket balls, because the Japanese team want to get on with it. And now Dae-yun had that outstanding knock, didn't he, for South Korea?
Oh, playing a miss. Kim Dae-yeon, good start for him. Consecutive dot balls to kick off the 4th over. And it's a stacked offside field. We have a backward point, a cover, an extra cover, and a wideish mid-on in position. And that's into the leg side. Long on will cut this off. Just a single, bringing Subun Navratna back on strike. South Korea, they need wickets. Even if they don't get them, at the very least, they need to start keeping things quiet. Need to string together a few dot balls, a few quiet overs. Just build pressure the classical way. Halfway through the 4th over. If you're just joining us, the news from the middle is Japan won the toss, restricted South Korea to 92 all out in just 19 overs. And they're going well in this chase. Down the ground. Oh, long on. You should take this.
Oh, no!
That was a simple catch. Should have been a 2nd wicket down for Japan, but 2 drop catches in this innings means they're yet to lose a wicket. And they're 29 for none. Look at that. Didn't get it, as you can see on the replay.
No, I don't want to see it.
In and out.
That's tough. Well, it didn't bounce as high. The last drop, I guess, on the opposite side of the field, had the hardest hands in the world. Here we go. Another chance if you want it. No, it's too tough. I think that's 4 runs. It is.
Mate, once again, not the best bit of fielding. Ran all around that ball, as you can see. Didn't attack the ball.
Well, he didn't have the pace to get there, unfortunately. So that's Park Soo-chan out there.
I tell you what, there have been a lot of nervous moments for both batters. But Korea's fielding has just not been good enough. Bang down the ground. This could be back-to-back boundaries. Absolutely splits that gap between mid-off and the bowler. Japan, they're motoring along. 37 for none after 4.
Wow, Yamamoto Lake. He survived one and then just said, that's okay. We'll just carry on scoring.
56 needed of 96 deliveries. And guess what? Japan, they've got 10 wickets in hand. And I tell you what, South Korea, they're going to struggle to take wickets if they don't hold on to their catches. 37 for none. I like this intent from these 2 batters. They're going after it. That's what you should be doing in the power play. But I also feel like neither of these 2 batters should still be out there. South Korea, you're not taking your chances, and you only have yourself to blame. We have a change in bowling. Lee Wan-yi into the attack. And will this change in bowling result in a change in fortunes?
Well, this kind of aggression is what South Korea showed in their first over, and then they just lost their way. They didn't stick with what I thought looked like a good game plan, and fortune favouring the brave on this pitch at the moment. Yamamoto Lake and Navratna not messing around. It's very gloomy at the moment. In fact, you'd probably be called for bad light on most pitches around the world.
Short, pulled, ooh, a little bit high on the bat. A quick single. Whew. A direct hit may have made things interesting. But I have to say, 2 to 3 chances being created in every single over so far. And a bit of an argument here between Navratne and Yamamoto Lake. As Yamamoto Lake on strike. Oh, he's made a great connection on that. That's comfortably cleared that deep mid-wicket rope. The umpire raises his hands. 6 runs. Look at that.
Wow.
Fetch that from outside off stump. Hit that nice and clean, Yamamoto Lake.
Fantastic shot from Lachlan Yamamoto Lake. Just the quickness of the hands as well. We know he's an outstanding pianist. You got to have the quick hands, the fingers, but right now it's all about that hand-eye with a ball coming at you. I don't think many pianists could handle that, playing something by Chopin with a cricket ball coming at your face. And
Again, an action replay. Oh, just clearing that man at deep mid-wicket. That boundary not long enough when you're bowling to Lockie Yamamoto Lake. Let's take a look at that replay. A little bit straighter. It hit higher on the bat. Nonetheless, it's 50 up for Japan. They're more than halfway towards their target. And that 50 coming up in just 27 deliveries, 4.3 overs. Needless to say, Japan are well ahead of Duckworth Lewis at this point, and they're absolutely motoring along. 3 more balls, that's all we need to get a result here today at the Sano International Cricket Ground. This is one heck of a statement from the home team. Bang!
Oh, bang! Look at it go!
That's gone all the way yet again in front to square on the leg side. 3 consecutive maximums for Lachlan Yamamoto Lake. Start the car, order a taxi. We're going to be on our way home pretty soon.
I love this intent, I love the style. Classically trained musician and pianist, classical batting.
I tell you what, that was a musical sound off his bat as well. Lockie Yamamoto Lake. 56 for none, Japan. Whew.
So now South Korea just wonder what they can do to stop the rot. I think it's just too far now. Look at this. Well, of course, it's at that stage where now 1 more or 2 more balls and even rain can't save them.
Yeah, we can see those Japanese fielders from the dugout. 3 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them maybe, trying really hard to find that ball and throw it back into the field of play.
Yeah.
Japan know they need just 2 more balls to get a result. Bang, he skied that up in the air. This should be taken deep mid-wicket. Oh, you're kidding. You've got to attack the ball. You cannot run around the ball. You have to run towards it, South Korea.
Again, I just don't think he had the wheels to get there, unfortunately. It was aerial.
James McConey, it's good cop, bad cop at the commentary box.
Oh, don't worry, I've been unforgiving for the other misses. It's another boundary for Yamamoto Lake. He's rapidly approaching his half century. It'd be well deserved if he could raise the bat.
Yes, I believe he scored a half century in one of those games against Indonesia. But given the context of this game and all that pressure, I think this is his best innings in Japan colors. 62 for no loss after 5. Whew. They're 41 runs ahead. 42 runs ahead of that Duckworth Lewis par score. Look at that. We've got a game. We're going to get a result. And that result is probably going to be a resounding win for Japan.
There's a scoreboard. It makes grim reading for South Korea. And now really it's turning into a bit of a festival for Yamamoto Lake. If he gets 1 more boundary, he can raise the bat. Well deserved if he does. Naratna just basically being the support partner now, he gets a chance to face up.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Playing a supporting act here. Supu Navratna on strike right now. Goes big, deep square leg, should cut this off. In fact, no! That was hit a little bit too well from Supu Navratna. And he's into the act as well, 19 off 10. Both these batters going strong. and it's hard to see how South Korea are going to rein this back.
I just want to get the word out there that if anybody was thinking of coming up to the commentary box for an interview, forget about it. This game is rapidly coming to a close, so we maybe get one question and maybe two questions. It'll be all over.
Oh my word. Who would have seen this coming? I have to say, South Korea, you should have scored somewhere in the region of 105, 110. On the hips, this time, that fielder in the deep should make no mistake. A strong throw in, but one more useful run here for Japan. James, what have South Korea done wrong today?
Where do we start? It's a tough one. I actually thought they started really well. I think that it was being conservative in those middle overs, or actually even during the power play, they were too conservative.
Big shot again. This should clear the boundary. Absolutely. And it's 50 up for Lockie Yamamoto Lake. A fantastic counter-attacking innings from the right-handed opener. 52 off just 22 deliveries. And look at that dugout. They're all standing up. They're applauding what's been a fantastic innings. 4 sixes, 5 fours. A strike rate in excess of 200. And he's not done yet.
Yeah, magnificent shot. What a way to bring up the half-ton.
3 balls left in the power play. I think he's going to go again. Absolutely. There's nobody there. In fact, there is deep mid-wicket in position. It's just a single, bit of an anticlimax.
Well, it's been a gloomy day here in Sano, but Yamamoto Lake has been a shining light. And now we'd have to say that in those man of the match standings, his name rapidly heading to the top.
Down the ground. Ooh, that's gonna sting. Amir Lal, I hope your foot's okay. Ugh, just walking it off. I think he's gonna be fine, but wow.
The toughness of Amir Lal, he's saying it's fine, it hit my shin. I was like, that's even worse.
Down the ground. Does well to cut it off again. But what a power play here for Japan. They're going at in excess of 12 runs and over. 74 for no loss after 6.
Well, as he walks off to nurse a hematoma on his lower leg, because that was tough stuff from Amir Lal. You got to do it though, especially off your own bowling. Probably the only time you will do it. And that's 12 off that over. And things pretty much just wrapping up now. And pretty rapidly too for South Korea. Lachlan Yamamoto Lake, another 19-year-old, a young man who's come through cricket in the Perth system in Western Australia. We've talked about his music background and his hip-hop group, BRB Mundi. Be right back, dudes, is that right? Be right back, dudes. Well, he'll be right back with a match-winning innings. We're going to listen to that tonight, aren't we, Jay? We're going to, just to finish off the day, we'll listen to Lachlan's rap group.
Yeah, a little bit of BRB Monday on that taxi back to the hotel. Why not? BRB Monday. Look at that. The multi-talented Lachlan Yamamoto Lake. 53 of 23. Supu Navratna, in contrast, has been playing a little bit slowly. Only 20 off 13. Bang, down the ground. Oh, was that put down, James McConey?
Yeah, it was. Oh! And a chance there, but no, it was. He'll be so disappointed, the bowler, with that. That's a gimme. Good throw, though. All in vain.
The countdown has begun. Just 18 more runs required for victory. If you're still counting, that required rate is 1.3 runs per over. That's guided into the offside. A quick single, a run-out chance. A big appeal. Oh, the umpire thinks about it but says nope, that's in.
Wow. Needed to hustle. There was a stutter step. Well, we don't have the technology. If you're wondering if we can go upstairs, well, we're upstairs and we've in a disused classroom in a school that looks like a horror movie set, and it's an absolute horror show for the South Korean team. This hasn't worked out for them on this trip, and they're rooted to the bottom of the table.
That was initially signaled a dead ball by the umpire, but the square leg and main umpire just having a conference. In fact, he stuck out his right arm. So it's a no ball, and it's going to be a free hit.
Uh-oh.
Yes, absolutely. It bounced twice, of course, and that's why it's been signaled no ball, and rightfully so. Both bounces, of course, on the pitch. No ball, free hit. Every ball is a free hit for Lockie Yamamoto Lake, and ironically, this time he misses out.
Great delivery there. Cramped him up, gave him nothing to swing at. The ball spun out of the block hole.
The writing's on the wall for South Korea. Down the ground, a wideish long off. Does pretty well. Cuts it off, and it's just a single. 15 runs to win, and I think we're all just waiting for the inevitable. Japan. 2 sixes and a 4 will take them there. 2 balls left in this over. Goes big, gets a leading edge, skies it to backward point. This time, South Korea finally hang on to something. It's a little bit too late. 16 runs needed for victory. 9 wickets in hand. Japan, that's 78 for 1 with 1 ball left in the 7th over.
Well, I guess you've got to celebrate a wicket, but wonder what they'll be saying to themselves now. It's pretty much been one of those trips. Great to see South Korea back after a long hiatus. We all know why, and of course the pandemic's caused a lot of problems, deeper problems than sport, of course, but for a lot of these teams it's just a matter of regrouping. And in terms of Japan, it's the dawn of a new era. It's a new breed. There's a lot of young players, and one of the most exciting, arguably the most exciting players, just come to the crease right now, the captain of Japan, and that is, of course, Kendall Karawaki Fleming. He scored a record century for Japan and probably for East Asia Pacific, I'd say. 6th fastest T20 international century of all time of 40 balls. That was on Saturday. So he's a special talent. He plays a lot of his cricket and most of his cricket in Brisbane for the Northern Districts Club. Northern Suburbs, beg your pardon. So I'm sure he'll want to get on with it as well, knowing him.
Look at that. He's eyeing up that gap between mid-wicket and long on. Peppered that region. Peppered a lot of regions, in fact, in that century.
Wow.
Oh, it's down the leg side. The umpire gets some exercise. Japan get 2 more bonus runs. In fact, 3 bonus runs. The countdown continues. Just 12 more runs required for victory. Kendall Karawaki Fleming on strike, and I think he's going to go big. Nishat Nazmul Saqib hiding the ball, interestingly. Ooh, that's a full toss, and I think he's edged that down to third man. Kendall Karawaki Fleming, he can do no wrong even when he edges the ball. In fact, signaled buys from the umpire. So 2 runs here for Japan. They're 83 for 1 after 7.
This is the over that never ends. Oh no, finally. Here we go. It was just Kendall Karawaki Fleming, even the other day with that record-setting, scintillating century, even in that innings, he was scratchy at the start, missed the first 3 balls and then just went ballistic. But fun to watch. And now Yamamoto Lake, can he finish with a flourish? I want to see 2 sixes.
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly what I want to see as well. It's tough to watch South Korea. They're well aware that they're out of contention for the regional finals, which will be played next year. Japan, they have more than just 1 foot, or more than just 1 hand on that trophy. They got a hand and a half on that tournament trophy. Amir Lal. Oh, that's skied up in the air. This should be the second wicket. Shoaib Raja makes no mistake with the gloves. So Japan just delaying the inevitable here, but what a fantastic innings from Lockie Yamamoto Lake. 55 off 28. James, that was a special innings.
Yeah, take a bow, Lockie. That was a wonderful knock from the 19-year-old. And we've talked about his musical prowess. He is the guy who's pretty much come over here and said he's a proud Japanese player. He wants to contribute, like a lot of these players who have joined from other parts of the world. And Yamamoto Lake, some of those shots, especially through mid-wicket, punishing 3 sixes in a row at one point, wasn't it, Jay? And that was just shows the talent that we've got on display. And I'm sure that his mates at the Willerton Club in Perth will be watching. Shout out to you, lads. You boys done well.
Yeah, no doubt. That experience of playing in full member countries absolutely invaluable. And of course, these Japan boys, they're also playing domestic cricket here. So it raises the standard of domestic cricket and just narrows that gap between the domestic level and international level. So important from a high performance standpoint. Now it's clipped away into the leg side. A quick single. This could be a run out. No, Kendall Katawaki Fleming, I'm so sorry I doubted you. You can do no wrong in this tournament.
Yeah, he anticipated that one and just decided, actually, I wouldn't mind getting on strike here and having some batting practice. I noticed the new batter, Ravi Chandran, has got himself a towel, which is nice to see. He's obviously seen that it is getting a little bit moist out there. We must be moments away from rain. You can just feel it in the air. In the Sano International Cricket Ground. It's held up well, given it was underwater 3 days ago. And we always, as always, we give a shout out to Todd Luckhurst, the groundskeeper, who's come over from Melbourne to do such a wonderful job here.
Tossed up, down the ground, Kendall Fleming. Kendall Katawaki Fleming, he's going to come back for two. Look at that, long on. Fell asleep there. That should never have been two.
Well, I did raise an eyebrow at the South Korean fielding practice the other day, Jay. I was thinking, just practicing with the tennis ball. I wasn't sure about it.
Good sound off the bat, but there's a deep cover in position, so just a single. Countdown continues. 6 more needed for victory. A maximum's going to do it.
And when you look at the catches that went down in practice, in the game here with a cricket ball, maybe they should do that.
Mate, I'm calling it. Slog sweep over deep mid-wicket right now.
Here you go.
That was not a slog sweep. That was a defensive shot. Watchfully played. Sabarish Ravichandran, his dad is in right now. In fact, he's staying at the team hotel as well. And without a doubt, I'm sure he's hoping that his son scores a maximum right now. But that's watchfully played. Well done, Amir Lal. 4 runs off the over and a successful one. 87 for 2 after 8. 6 runs needed for victory.
Well, you know who likes to hit sixes. He hit 10 of them the other day in his century. That's Kendall Katawaki Fleming. So put your money on this one, I think. No, it's who's coming into bowl? You'd say Kendall. Will he go big?
James, are you ready for a random stat?
Yes, please.
Kendall Katawaki Fleming in his T20I career hits a 6 every 6.875 deliveries. That's not going to be a 6, but that's smashed to that extra cover boundary for 4.
It's a beautiful shot. Wonderful. Just through the covers. So elegant. And I love that stat. Can you tell us again, what is it? How many? 6 point something balls and he hits a 6.
Every 6.875 balls, Kendall Kadawaki Fleming hits a 6 in T20I cricket. 16 sixes
Brilliant.
in 110 balls in his career. Fired in,
There we go.
smashed.
That's it. That's it. Japan wins. Japan defeats South Korea here. They did it easily. 8.2 overs. Wow. Annihilated. Crushed. And the captain's out there to take the plaudits, but we've seen a wonderful innings as well from Lachlan Yamamoto Lake. Japan dominant here at the Sano International Cricket Ground, their home ground. And they take the win, the chocolates, the plaudits, and all the praise.
Absolutely. It's been all Japan today, with the exception of that power play. South Korea, they were 35 for 1. They were looking good for a score in the region of 110, 120. They got nowhere close to that. Bowled out, of course, for 92 inside 19 overs. It was never going to be enough. They dropped a lot of catches in that power play. Lockie Yamamoto Lake, a scintillating half century from him. And it was too easy for Japan. South Korea, that's it for you. You have one game left tomorrow. It's going to be a dead rubber. Let's take a look at that scorecard. 55 off 28. Lockie Yamamoto Lake, the headline act. Kendall Fleming, 13 not out of 5. And of course, Subun Navratna, 21 off 15 at the top of the order. If we take a look at that South Korean bowling card, well, it doesn't make for very good reading, does it? Amar Lal bowled pretty well, 1 for 23. The other wicket taker, Nishat Nazmus Saqib, but he sprayed it all over the place. Lee Wan Yi, 25 in his solitary over. Kim Dae-yeon, Alam Nakash and Sana Ullah conceding 10 runs apiece in their 1 over respectively. So there you have it, the match summary. South Korea bowled out for 92. Kim Dae-yeon, 29, like I said before. But look at those bowlers from Japan. 2 for 8 for the Amazon man, Piyush Kumbhare. 2 for 12, Sabarish Ravichandran and spinner Makoto Taniyama chipping in with 2 for 16 as I get tongue-tied here in the commentary box. Don't go too far. We're going to be back with you pretty shortly for that presentation ceremony. Let's find out who was the player of the match. That's coming up in around 5 minutes from now. Thank you so much for tuning into this broadcast. I'm your commentator for the day, Jay Dansakani. It's been a pleasure being joined by James McConey. You can follow me on Twitter at Jay Dansakani. And don't follow James on Twitter. He doesn't want you to.
Yeah, that's up to you. I'm leaving it optional, but thank you very much, Jay, for leading the ship and running the cutter. That's all we've got from the action, but yes, of course, there is the presentation. It'll be interesting. I think I know who my money's on. The guy with very long hair who likes to rap. And so Japan just utterly dominant here in the land of the rising sun. We never actually saw the sun today, but it's definitely set on South Korea and their chances in this East Asia Pacific qualifier, sub-regional qualifier, and the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. All eyes on 2024, and Japan doing great things in 2022. Stick around for Jay and the presentation, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Welcome to the presentation ceremony. A huge, resounding win for Japan, winning by 8 wickets with, well over 10 overs to spare, in fact. Bowling South Korea out for 92 and chasing it down in convincing fashion. I want to kick things off by inviting the skipper who finished second today from South Korea. If you could please join me up here, June. Yes, and we have a translator to help us out as well. Now, June, of course, you've lost 3 matches in a row in this tournament. You can't make it to the regional finals. Where do you think things have gone wrong for you in this tournament?
시합 3개를 했는데 그 3개 통틀어서 하나도 이기지 못했는데 그거에 대해서 어떻게 생각하는지 뭐가 문제였는지 그걸 얘기를 한번 해달래요. 실제로 우리 한국에서는 크리켓이 유명하지 않은 종목이라서 많은 어려움이 있습니다. 하지만 우리는 항상 도전자의 자세로 임해왔고 우리의 도전은 항상 이어질 것이고 멈추지 않을 것이라고 확신을 하며 남은 한 게임이라도 정말 이기려고 최선을 다할 것입니다.
As well, he's saying that same as Japan, the cricket is not very popular in Korea, so it's kind of a challenge for us for getting some experience from here. But he's saying that our experience or our challenge is gonna keep going until we get more better cricket from here. And I'm hoping to get well for the next game tomorrow. We'll do our best for that.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not going to keep you too long. Thank you so much for joining me up here, June.
Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to invite the winning skipper from Japan, Kendall Fleming. If you could join me up here for a few quick questions. Kendall, South Korea with 35 for 1 after the power play, and it looked like maybe they were looking good for 120, maybe 130. What were the conversations and how'd you pull things back?
We obviously played against them a couple of days ago and they managed to make 170, so we knew the power was there in their team. We're really focusing on, even if they hit a couple of sixes, just really staying in the moment, stringing a couple of dots together, and we thought that the chance would come after that. But yeah, 120, 130, we would have been pretty happy. I thought 130 would have been a pass score today, so the bowls were outstanding today.
Absolutely, and a big part of the pre-match talk was about rain and potentially DLS coming into the equation. Were there any conversations about that DLS par score at the halfway mark?
No, there weren't. As you know, the weather's out of our control. All we needed to do was start off well in the power play. We were going to be aggressive there, and then if we needed to speak about it later, we would have, but we tried to just focus on each ball as it came.
Absolutely. Just talk me through that innings from Lockie right up front.
Yeah, everyone in the team knows how talented Lockie is. He managed to get a few away today, which was good, and I think that's one of the most pleasing things about the last couple of weeks. People have popped up for performances, different people each game, so yeah, it's a great knock.
Thanks, Kendall. 3 and 3. Congratulations. And now it's time to find out who was the player of the match. We've got 3 nominees. From South Korea, our first nominee, Kim Dae-yeon. Our second nominee, the left-arm spinner from Japan, Piyush Kumbhare, 2 wickets in a boundary-less spell from Piyush Kumbhare. Our third nominee and the winner, there could only be one winner, and it was Lockie Yamamoto Lake. Lockie, if you could just join me up here for a quick picture. I'm going to present you with this slightly wet certificate.
Appreciate it.
Lockie, I'll keep things short. You can hold on to that. Lockie, similar question to what I asked Kendall. At the halfway mark, what was the strategy? What was your game plan?
Look, just basically go out there, get some bat on ball. We did a really good job as a team to keep them to, 92? So yeah, just getting bat on ball, enjoying myself out there, which I've been doing the past couple of games, which is good.
Absolutely. Would you say this is your best innings so far in Japan colours? Relatively young T20I career.
Yeah, probably close to it. It helps, having the fielding standard and the bowling standard really good in the front end, so I'm just sweeping up at the end, so it's really good to go for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And 3 wins in 3. You've got 1.5 hands on that tournament trophy. The regional finals, it's almost there. What would it mean to you and the rest of the team to qualify for that regional final?
It'd mean just a great deal, really. Like, we're growing really tight as a group, so just to get around it at the end would be awesome. So, yeah, nearly there.
Mate, absolutely. I'm not going to keep you too long. Go celebrate with the rest of your team.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So there you have it. A brilliant innings from Lockie Yamamoto Lake and a convincing win for Japan.